Hello and welcome everybody to another Flight Sim Fan video. Today we're going to take a quick look on the radar modes, just very basic how to use the radar. Right now we only have range wall scan. We do not have TWS track wall scan. We do not have air to ground radar or sea radar either. But we're just going to look at the controls you need, and we're going to look at how to move the radar around in the end to get a kill with the AIM-7. So let's go to the controls. We're going to go to HOTAS, and we're going to come down here. First thing you're going to want to map is the radar elevation control. This controls what elevation you're scanning, so 0 to 20,000 feet, 0 to 40,000 feet, that kind of stuff. And I have this set to my, I'm using a Thrustmaster Warthog stick. CMS forward and aft is my radar elevation. Next, this is not radar related, but this is weapon related. You're going to need all four of these. Select AMRAAM, select gun, select Sidewinder, and select Sparrow. You need all four of these because you cannot select it in the stores page. You need to have it on your Warthog throttle, or you need to have it on your stick or throttle somewhere. You need it even on the keyboard will work. Next, it's a good idea to have these down as well. Sensor control switch, aft, forward, left, and right. These are pretty much air combat modes, so vertical scan, horizontal scan, bore sight, that kind of stuff. Now this for me is my TMS, and then I also have select gun. The select guns and the select weapons is on my coolie hat and my throttle. Coming down, the big one, you need all five of these. You need the throttle designator controller, or TDC, depress, which is the lock button, and then you need down, left, right, and up. You need all those. And then you're gonna need to have undesignate nose to steering switch, which is just S by default, but that'll undesignate your targets. And then finally the weapon release button, which will release the weapon. Oh, sorry, that's actually for, I made a mistake. That's for bombs. Weapon release is for bombs only. The gun trigger second detent is for gun plus missiles, air-to-air missiles. So those are the controls you need. We'll hop back in the plane. Now we're in active pause right now. We got some bombers ahead of us. And we're just going to go to our right DDI. I like it on my right side. The setup I like is radar. And if you don't know how to get to this page, you hit menu. This is the menu button. You have tactical menu, support menu. You want tactical, radar, and then you're going to want, on this page, since we're air-to-air, I like my EW to be up there, which is my RWR. And let's just turn the map off because it's kind of useless. There we go. Next, we're going to hit, you can either click the button, or I'm going to hit my AIM-7 select. So you can see we have 7 AIM-7s. They're armed with the master arm, and they're also not crossed up. We have 6 AIM-7s. Get rid of these useless features here. So I hit data, declutter, get rid of that velocity vector nonsense. We don't need that. As we're in active pause, TDC will move the little 2 vertical lines around. At the top you have the high end of the elevation you're scanning and the bottom end. So we're scanning 23,000 feet to 39,000 feet. If I move this up, you can see that I can bring it down and up. See, I can move the elevation as I want. It'll affect this arrow, and it'll affect the numbers here. That's with radar elevation. Then you have your range, the top right corner. This is 40 miles. So my usual scanning is 80 miles, and then come down here 80 degrees left and right of the nose is what I usually use. Now we're gonna unpause. So I always like to have, I'll pause it real quick. I always like to have 0 here because I want to make sure I'm hitting the deck, or even -1, and then the maximum amount. Sometimes if it's 52,000, I mean, you can kind of bring that down. No one's really going to be that high. Right. So now we have a target. Let's move the TDC towards it, and we'll hit our radar, our throttle designator controller depress button. You can move it there. There we go. So now we have the lock. I'll hit the left shift pause again real quick before we lose it. Do they keep moving? They do keep moving. Alright, this is kind of, I'll just do a full pause then. What we're going to find is once you have the lock, you can look at the screen here. You have an arrow of where the actual target's headed. You have the altitude of the target, and then you also have the range. If you look at your top right here, 19 miles. It also tells you the range there. Above the range, you have the closure rate. So we're closing at 170 knots. That's because he's cold. Usually, if a fighter's flying towards you, the speeds are you'll probably see 800 here. That'll usually mean he's hot towards you, or 1,000 plus. Thousands, you both are probably Mach 1 or or more. And then you also get the circle as well. This circle is the aim 7 circle. And we're really far out for the shot, so it's not going to tell us to shoot yet, but we will have a lock symbol up here as well. So I'll unpause. I'll active pause as well. Let's bring it around. I know if they're in a left turn, so I want to gain distance on them without just putting full burner in. So let me turn left more than they are. And with this geometry, I should get closer to them. All right. Now they're taking a right turn, so I'm going to more right. Now we have the shoot cue there. Put that circle in the, or put that little dot in the circle there, and we'll press our trigger. That's a Fox 1. Let's maintain the lock. This is the trickiest part. When you're looking down at a target, it's not really that great because you can have some ground clutter, mess it up. So it's good to be below them. Let's get below. I believe the missile has missed. Now we are cold to the target, so the missile usually won't hit a cold target. Now using those modes we were talking about, sensor select, I can show that to you now as well. So we're behind the bandit. We have aim 9 selected. This is one I like to use as bore sight. So what you have to do is hit TMS or whatever your sensor select is to up position. Get that bandit in the dotted circle area. Let's try aim 7 because I actually want to get these things working. Hold it there, and once you get the lock, you can shoot. So let's get the circle in the middle. Fox 1. This is a 2-mile missile. Let's see. Please don't fail me. Yeah, I don't know what it's doing right now. I think it's trying to lead the shot too much, but it should hit. Yep, there's a splash. So that's how you can use the radar and the different air combat modes as well. So you have bore sight, vertical scan, and then a right. I believe right is supposed to be acquisition. And then you have the horizontal scan, which is left. So you guys can just practice that as you go. As I say, practice makes perfect. Just keep doing some dogfights, or just keep using the radar. I'm in the instant action air-to-air radar mission that came with the F-18. So if you want to just fly around, you could put this mission up yourself and just kind of fly around in single player, test it out, see how it works. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'll see you on the next one.